It's a story really about being true to yourself, following your heart, and going after love and risking literally everything.
Welcome to WatchMojo's Pop in the Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. And me, well, I am your host with the most, Mojo, of course. That's right, it's me, Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. Such a fun show, as always. I'll be speaking with Tom Pryor. He's one of the stars and co-writer of the film Firebird. I've also got the director and other co-writer, Peeter Rebane. Don't want to miss that chat. Plus, veteran actress Vicky Kelleher stops by to chat about her roles in the show The Offer and The Flight Attendant Season 2. So much fun to be had, but first, we're jumping into it. Here's your Hollywood headlines. All right, as we do each and every show, we kick things off with a look at some of the more notable headlines over there in Hollywood. And hey, I need help breaking it down. And guess who is back? Kirsten, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I was just saying a moment ago that it must be a while because now you have a different look.
Yeah.
Loving the do.
Thank
Is this
you.
for like a project you're working on, or?
No, this is just because I ruined my hair with bleach and I had no other choice.
Well, hey, it's
my
working.
own fault. It's my own fault. So, hey.
It's working for you.
Thanks.
Before we jump in, is there anything, because I know last time we chatted, you were doing lots of cosplay and you were also teasing some sort of a web show that you were working on. Is that out?
Yes, the first episode is out. It's called Demons, and I've started a second channel. It's kind of like a little side project that I'm doing. So yeah, you can go and check that out. It's kind of all linked within my main channel, Kirsten Ria, but it's under Korea Productions. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, and I'm looking forward to creating some more. So hopefully you guys enjoy it if you watch it. Let me know.
Amazing. And I'm guessing it's horror.
Yes, of course.
Tinged?
Yes. Yeah. It's very difficult for me to make stuff that isn't horror, I think.
Well, we'll talk horror in a bit, but first I want to start with a movie that's coming our way, I think, because it's been close to 20 years now that we've been waiting on Avatar 2, this being the James Cameron follow-up to that record-breaking movie. Let's not forget that broke all kinds of records.
Yeah.
And changed kind of the technological game with its 3D advancements. Okay, now people are getting first looks. There's a trailer out for it. Low on plot, heavy on visuals. But the question that I have is, do we care? Because I don't care that much, to be honest. I think it's been maybe too long.
It has been a long time. And you know, I remember seeing it in the cinema when, like you said, it's 3D and it was like a really big thing then, and I think my dad even bought a 3D TV so that he could watch Avatar. And
I had a 3D TV.
Yeah, so you know, people went crazy for it, and it is a fantastic movie. And I think people were very excited when we, you know, heard. I'd say relatively shortly after the first film, we started to sort of hear rumors that there was going to be another one. Yeah. So obviously people were quite excited. But yeah, almost 20 years I think is a long time to wait for a sequel. I do want to see it, but I do agree with you where it's sort of like, I don't think I'm as hyped as I was for the first movie.
And here's the thing. So they did this one. I think they've done they've been filming stuff back to back to back. I don't know how many we're going to get out of this. Hopefully it does well enough that we actually see those other ones. Yeah. But I'm expecting it to be amazing because it's taking so long to do. What does it need to do to justify its existence this long? Does it need to have an amazing story? Does it need to up the visuals even more than it did before? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, after all this time, we're definitely expecting an increase in visuals. I mean, the original was so good with, you know, this new world that was created and these new, you know, alien beings. And even back then with the whole motion capture and stuff, it was so good. It blew everyone away with how good it looked. So I'm hoping that there has been a very big advancement there, because I think it would be a little bit disappointing if you can't notice too much of a visual difference, sort of effects wise. But I'm intrigued to see the story. I think that's the main thing that's sort of bringing me back is I just want to see, how's Jake doing? Is he got a little family now, and what they up to, and what could possibly go wrong? And I just hope it keeps us gripped, and I hope it's not too long because the original was quite long.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been hearing rumors about how this one's like twice as long, and yeah. So, but then again, I remember sitting in the cinema and getting halfway through the movie and hoping that it wasn't going to end. If they can capture us enough that it's 4 hours long and you're still there like, no, it's not enough, then, they've done a good job.
Yeah, so long movies aren't really the problem. It's long movies that aren't good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If it's a long movie and it's a great movie.
Yeah.
The Batman. I'll sit through it. I'll sit through another hour of that movie. Okay, let's move on to what we tease at the top, and that is horror. I'm a big fan of horror films. We got a slew of them on the way, so I'm curious if you have any that you're looking forward to. I've picked out a few that I've got on my radar. Kirsten, what upcoming horror films should people put on their radar?
I think Jordan Peele's Nope is definitely a big one because he's just so talented. But I think that's on everyone's radar anyway. But yeah, a few that I wasn't aware of, only just recently saw the trailers for that I'm really excited for is Men, which looks very creepy. It's nice to see a horror movie that takes place in Britain because you don't get a lot of those. And when they do sneak in, they are very good. There's films like The Ritual, which was a fantastic horror movie, British horror movie. And yeah, it looks very creepy, very weird, very strange.
It does. It's the director that did Ex Machina.
Yes.
And a few other. I like him a lot. So yeah, I saw the trailer for that Men.
Yes.
It makes you laugh because men are the problem. And the way the trailer sets it up is like, yeah. So that's on my radar too. I think that looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one was just the Black Phone. I think that's what it was called. I'm loving all of the horror stuff that Ethan Hawke is in at the moment. I think he does very well in horror, and it's nice to see him playing more of these villain roles. I've been loving Moon Knight at the moment, and I really enjoy his villainous role in that actually. So yeah, I was not expecting him to be playing this. I think serial killer in from what it looks like. Yeah,
that trailer
they're doing very good, making him he's just very creepy, very very creepy. And he's aging very well, I think. And they're playing on the fact that he's aging, I think. Yeah. And they're like, well, let's see if we can make him look really rough and creepy and give him the long hair. And yeah, it's turning someone who was actually still a relatively good-looking man into someone that I'm like, do you know what? I don't think I would want to meet him in an alleyway. Actually, he's kind of scary.
Yeah, there's some people that get that kind of late in their career, kind of renaissance,
yes,
where they play off their talents, but now their looks have changed a little bit. He's one of them, and I'm loving every minute of it. So good stuff there with Ethan Hawke. You've literally touched on all the ones that I had on my list. Thanks a lot. Great minds think alike. The other one that I'm kind of intrigued about is the finale, and we don't have a trailer yet. So it's hard to see what will come out of Halloween Ends. So they did Halloween. They did Halloween Kills was the last one, which, okay, I still liked it. I think Michael Myers in that one was like terrifying, the most terrifying I've ever seen him. He was like really the boogeyman. Story plot-wise, a little lukewarm. So I'm interested to see how they wrap it up with, are you a Michael Myers guy or person?
I mean, I do enjoy the Halloween films. I think, like you said, they do tend to deteriorate the more of them they make. I really enjoyed the rehash. I absolutely love Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I was like, does that sound right?
She's great.
Right. Yeah, I think she's doing a fantastic job, and I like the fact that they have kept her in it, but they're like, do you know what? We're going to age her and just make her a complete badass. I'm loving that. So, yeah, I mean, they're fun, aren't they? They don't have to be great. They don't have to have the best plots. They're just fun to watch. I didn't manage to watch Halloween Kills yet. I really need to because I did love the remake, the first one. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Again, I think it's just another one of those films that I think they're gonna probably keep making, but I'll watch it anyway. They're just fun. It's easy to watch.
Who are we kidding? We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch the next Freddy Krueger. We're gonna watch the next Chucky because we're suckers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a sucker for zombies. I love me some zombies. The Walking Dead is coming to an end. They don't have. I tried to look moments ago. I tried to see if I can give you guys the date of when it's ending. We're in the final season because it was like a supersized cut up. They always do that, right? The final season, but it's part 1, part 2. So it's coming to an end soon. They don't have the official final finale date as of the time of this recording, so I can't tell you that. But it is coming soon. And then everyone was all excited because after that show ended, we were supposed to get this kind of Carol and Daryl spinoff. But now, Walking Dead fans already know this. The actress that plays Carol pulled out because what they were going to do, Kirsten, is they were going to film all of this in spots of Europe. She wasn't willing to leave her life behind and do this.
Yeah.
And then there was all kinds of like toxic hate online.
Yeah.
So much so that the people behind The Walking Dead actually had to put out an announcement because a lot of that hate was going towards Norman Reedus, who had nothing to do with it, that decision.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But there are still plans. I think Daryl might still get his spinoff and Carol might make guest appearances. That seems to be the new rumor. There's supposedly a Negan show of his own. I don't know. What do you make of all this? Are you excited for the Walking Dead finale? Did you watch it? And what do you think of the spinoffs?
I really enjoyed Walking Dead when it first came out. It's taken me a long time to catch up. I'm still not completely caught up. Honestly, I thought it had ended already. So when I heard that they're like, oh, they're finally ending, I thought, okay, thought it happened already. So I do need to catch up. The thing is with The Walking Dead, I find that they just have these moments within the seasons that just they go a little bit stale and then they bring it back and then it goes stale again. So I think it's definitely getting to that point where they've probably done all they can do. However, I think there are definitely some very interesting characters like Negan, like Daryl, that really deserve a spin-off because you don't really get to sort of find out too much about them. They're very mysterious characters. They've got this, they've become really great characters and we've kind of gone on that journey with them. But before the sort of apocalypse, we've not seen too much of that, especially with Negan as well, because he's kind of done a complete 180 character-wise. Yeah. But I'm assuming he wasn't this insane, crazy person before the apocalypse. So I just think it'd be very interesting to see what is it that happened to create these characters. I think it's definitely time for it to end. But I think I might watch the spin-offs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it too. I'm assuming they're not going to be like as long episodes and they'll just kind of short miniseries. And then they're also talking about doing like these little special movies, which I'm totally in for. Like I think Rick was going to get his own little Walking Dead movie. So that's going to be cool. So, all right, Walking Dead fans, we got lots to get excited over still. And by the way, Norman Reedus, for those that are wondering what he's like in real life, I had an encounter. It was at a Comic-Con in my area. Oh, and nice. I was doing some like interviews and stuff. So I got to go in the back behind the building. And guess who was there? Had just drinking from a water bottle, taking a break from all the craziness inside. It was Norman Reedus. And we said hi to him. And then he chatted he's like the nicest guy, like so down to earth.
Yeah, he seems really, really sweet. And I think that's why people love Daryl is because I think he's very similar to Norman Reedus in real life. And there's a lot of him in that character, in the fact he's just got this very badass, demeanor with the leather jackets and everything like that. And you wouldn't want to mess with him. But he's actually like a golden retriever, like really. He's just so sweet and just the nicest guy. And yeah, very jealous you got to meet him. I'm a big fan.
I can attest to everything you just said. Okay, Kirsten, this has been fun, but you know the drill by now. You can't go anywhere because me and you, we got to take that old trip. That trip is beyond the list. All right, Kirsten, this is what we do. We dig in the vast archives of WatchMojo. We pluck out a top 10 list. We go beyond that list. What does that mean? Me and you just get to give our own opinions, explore it a little bit more, and answer the question, did WatchMojo get it right? They rarely get it wrong, but we'll see today because this is interesting. This is top 10 most cursed movie roles. I love this kind of stuff because it's so intriguing. These are roles that were associated with misfortune in one way or another. So we'll find out as the entries go along what this is. Do you like following this? I mean, it's all
I do. There's been a second season actually. I don't know if you've seen it. They did it on Shudder. It's Cursed Films or Cursed Movies, I think it's called.
I have not.
If you like this sort of stuff, I highly recommend watching it. I watched the first season and it is fantastic. And it's basically all this sort of stuff where they talk about, these are films that are allegedly cursed and this is what happened on the sets and stuff. And they've just released a second season, so I'm very, very excited for it. I can't wait to watch it because the first season was fantastic. It's so interesting.
I've got my binge for tonight. I'm so excited to watch that. I love this stuff. All right, let's start with so these are character roles that are supposedly cursed. Number 10 on the list, I've heard of this. It's the Bond girls, the Bond girl curse. I think this curse has kind of course corrected itself. But early on, you would got these actresses, and WatchMojo lays it out in their list here, of actresses that took on the role and then their career died. They couldn't get any leading roles. They couldn't do anything. So it was just kind of like, I don't know, what was it about the Bond girl back in the day that once you were credited, which is a big deal, casting agents were like, no.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was because, especially, sort of in the olden days, it was like, they had to be beautiful, and obviously they all are beautiful anyway, but maybe it was sort of like a stigma that it was like, well, you're just a Bond girl, you're just a pretty face, maybe they didn't think they were talented enough, and like you said, I think times have changed. I think that it's, perfectly acceptable for an attractive woman to be also talented in other avenues. So, hopefully times have changed, but I think a lot of that was probably just stigma back then in the olden days.
Yeah, so Eva Green recently, she's fine. Ana de Armas. I'm a big fan of her. She's great. So yeah, I think the curse, fingers crossed, for future Bond girls. They don't have to worry about that. But I totally remember hearing about that. So yeah, it's number 10 on the list. Let's see if any other ones. Number 9. Oh, this is so... I thought this might be a little closer to number 1. That being Anakin Skywalker. I think I know why WatchMojo decided to put it here, because Hayden Christensen might have an opportunity to course correct the curse. Because he is returning in the Disney Plus series, but... people said he was horrendous in those Star Wars prequels. I'm not going to disagree too much.
I haven't gone back and watched the sort of Anakin sort of movies, if you know what I mean, since becoming an adult. However, when I watched them as a kid, I really enjoyed him, and I think a lot of that was because I just had a huge crush on him. So I was like, I don't see the problem. So as an adult, I think definitely looking back at his performance, I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from here. But I think it's also the young lad that played Anakin in the movie as well. He had a really hard time, bless him.
Jake Lloyd is his name. Yeah, he's
got
mentioned
bullied
here.
And everything, and I just think this is someone who was in Star Wars. Star Wars is a big deal. Even back then, it was a big deal, and I just think the cheek. It's like, what movies have you been in? How dare you bully someone for playing a young Anakin Skywalker? I just think that's just insane to me.
Yeah, but he retired from acting shortly after that movie. Can you imagine playing a young Anakin Skywalker and being like, you had such a terrible time that you're like, as a kid.
That's just so sad. Kids can be so cruel.
This number 8, man, this is interesting, Kirsten. Billy Bob Thornton's co-stars is the name of the entry. Now, hear me out. The reason why is because so many people that have co-starred alongside Billy Bob Thornton have died prematurely. Sling Blade, his co-star JT Walsh, passed away at just a little over 50. And then Jim Varney, whose final live action film was in Thornton's Daddy and Them. And then we had in Monsters Ball, he co-starred alongside Heath Ledger, passed away. Bad Santas, he co-starred with John Ritter and Bernie Mac, who both unexpectedly died. They're also in their early 50s. That doesn't end there. Waking Up in Reno, Patrick Swayze, one of his final roles, and then died shortly after. I don't know. If you get a script and it's like starring Billy Bob Thornton, actors might be like, I don't know.
Yeah, could you imagine being Billy Bob Thornton though? Just thinking like he must be so lonely because no one wants to sort of hang out with him. Like, sorry, Billy Bob, like you're cursed, dude. I don't wanna. Oh man, that sucks.
That's an unfortunate
Poor
coincidence.
Billy Bob. Yeah.
Or curse.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy when you see those people. So who has he starred with recently? Let's hope they're okay.
Oh gosh. I mean, obviously, I know he obviously dated Angelina Jolie for a while, but I don't know if they starred anything together because I mean she's doing okay. I mean, she's
okay.
not really acting anymore, but she's alive. Oh God!
Although
Touch wood.
I saw photos of her. She's in Ukraine. So Angelina, be careful over there.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh
I've
my
just
God.
jinxed it now, haven't I?
No, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Number 7 on the cursed movie role list. This one I've heard of as well. That being Jesus Christ, the actors that have played Jesus Christ. Now, the most famous one being the actor that was in Passion of the Christ, who got pneumonia, hypothermia, was struck by lightning on set. Man, that's insanity. But there's been some other instances. So yeah. You think that if you're going to play Jesus in a movie, you're like, this would be a big deal. My career should take off.
Yeah. It's probably one of the biggest roles that you can take on and one that you really want to sort of do justice for. But yeah, that's a little bit scary with something definitely trying to smite them away there.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Say, no, we're not having this.
Passion.
Yeah,
that would be a good one
scary.
for that show you're talking about.
Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely,
that'll show
maybe. I haven't seen season 2. It could be.
John Connor rolls in at number 6. This being from the Terminator franchise. So there's been a few actors that have played him. Edward Furlong. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had so much talent, so great in that movie, and then it was like his career should have taken off. Nick Stahl, same thing, who replaced him in Terminator 3. Both fell on very, very hard times.
Yeah, and I think especially with Edward Furlong, sorry, he, he was literally just sort of, I think, grabbed one day in a shopping mall, and they just said, "Hey, dude, like, you want to be in a movie? You got a good look," and I just think how lucky can you get to sort of and achieve a role like that?
Oh, he was perfect.
And yeah, I mean, he was very talented. He was absolutely perfect for it. And yeah, it's just so sad that I think especially a lot of these child actors as well. They do tend to, like you said, fall on hard times. So hopefully hopefully it's not a curse, and it was just a case of being a bit too young and thrust into the spotlight, I guess.
And let's not forget that Christian Bale, when he played him, that's when his infamous tape was released, right? The ranting tape. So I don't know. That role has trouble associated with it. Number 5 on the list, we're at the midway point of cursed movie roles, Snow White. Now, the reason why this is here is because when Snow White came out, the actress that voiced her, Adriana Casaletti, she was uncredited because they wanted to keep, they wanted to keep this mystique. Maybe it's Snow White's real. I don't know. And then she was only paid $970 for the role, received no extra money after that. And then to make matters worse, she couldn't promote the fact that she was Snow White's voice. She was even replaced in future work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
And then, so her career really took a nosedive. And then there was another actress that went on to voice Snow White who suffered from bipolar and terrible disorders. And it just seems to be a role that didn't have good things happen to people when they took it on.
Yeah, that's really sad. I mean, I think with the first one, that seems like it was... They were just out to get her. That's just a really mean thing to do. I don't
Snow White's like the nicest, the fairest. She's the fairest lady of them all. Yeah. And then you got like in real life, she's being treated like.
I mean, especially the original was such a huge movie. It was like one of the first sort of Disney movies to kind of take off, and to not be credited and to be able to actually say, "Oh, I'm Snow White." It's just
royalties.
Yeah.
You got your $970. Couldn't even make it $1,000. $970, and then that's it.
Yeah.
If there was royalties attached with that, forget it.
That's crazy to me.
Amazing.
I can't believe that.
So who knows? I'm assuming they're going to do more Snow White. So hopefully there's nice clauses in contracts. Number 4 is Oscar-winning roles. So this means that the long-standing curse is that if you win an Oscar, instead of your career doing that uptick, as many expect, it kind of either stagnates or goes down. There's so many cases. The other one that's mentioned that I also love too is the Oscar love curse. So once you win an Oscar, you get divorced, which has happened more times than not. But yeah, the Oscar curse. I mean, what do you think? Adrian Brody's listed here. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
I mean, it could be the fact that, like, once you win an Oscar, you're just sort of like, cool, I've got my Oscar. I don't need to try anymore.
Halle Berry,
you know?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
what's that guy's name? Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
From Jerry Maguire. He won an Oscar. And then if you look at his filmography following that, it's like either terrible, slightly offensive comedies.
Yeah.
Like Boat Trip, or just like straight to DVD bargain bin. Like, what?
Yeah.
How is that possible? You won an Oscar.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, you look at Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's only just recently kind of won an Oscar, which, you know, is good for him. And you sort of think, well, he should have won one, you know, ages ago. But then, you know, now I'm thinking, thank goodness we didn't, because we would have missed out on a lot of really great Leo films. So
there you go.
Yeah, so maybe now he can just relax and retire. He doesn't need to try anymore.
I think you have a point, though. Like, once you win your Oscar, you're kind of like, okay, that's it. Like,
I've got my Oscar, I'm done.
Like, I remember when Sandra Bullock won for The Blind Side, and I was like, well, where's my next Sandra Bullock movie?
Yeah.
But she took time off. And
yeah. Why not?
Why not? You won your Oscar. Relax.
Yeah, you've worked hard.
Number 3 is Poltergeist characters. That's that horror film. A lot of this I'm slightly familiar with. Obviously, it's a haunted house of nightmares in the movie. Yeah. But the set also was.
And this is one that was in the series 1 of Cursed Films. So this is a really very interesting one. Not just for the characters, but also they talk about what actually happened on the set of the movie. But it's also really sad about what happened to a lot of the cast members.
Oh my God, someone was murdered by an ex-boyfriend, people succumbing to disease and cancer. Oh man, death. Yeah, no, that looked like a curse set. And to be associated with that horror movie, oh my Lord.
Yeah. I mean, there was obviously rumors about reusing real skeletons and everything like that, and their excuse was, well, you know, it's cheaper to just, obviously they didn't just dig them out of the ground. They were like science science skeletons, but I think people just freak out because it's like, that's a real person's skeleton. It's like, well, yeah. Like, it's cheaper to go get a science skeleton than have all these molds and stuff made, but people freaked out about it. And maybe I guess maybe something did create a curse using,
if I'm doing a horror movie, everything's fake.
Yeah, everything's fake.
Everything's
None of
fake.
this is real. The demons are fake. The spells are fake. We're not doing anything real.
Yes, nothing real.
Don't take that risk.
Number 2. Okay, here we go. Can't complain with this one because this is very, very much out there in the world of pop culture. That being the role of Superman. We know George Reeve. I always want to put an S on his. Oh no, he is George Reeves. He died by, well, mysterious circumstances. There's a whole thing about whether or not he died by suicide or what have you. He played the original Superman in that long-running radio series turned TV series. And then Christopher Reeve, who we know had that terrible accident, and he passed away. That's just been a role, and you associate Superman with, the strongest of the strong, you can't hurt this guy, and then terrible things have happened to those roles. Now, I mean, Henry Cavill's doing pretty good, so let's hope the curse is over. Who was the guy? There was an actor that that took on the role in. The name is escaping me, but he took on the role.
I know who you mean, because he was in Scott Pilgrim as well, but I can't remember the actor. I don't know his name, but that's the only reason I knew him. When Scott Pilgrim, I was like, oh, he played Superman. And it's a shame because Scott Pilgrim was such a good film, and I feel like he's a talented actor, but he just sort of gets.
But the fact that we can't remember his name,
that's the thing.
It proves my point. Yeah. It proves my point because he played Superman. Yeah. And then his career. So there is. Yeah, he is a good actor. I think he popped up in some of the CW does those kind of superhero shows. I used to watch Arrow and The Flash. I've kind of fallen out of it, but I know he popped up. So let's hope he's doing good and
Yeah.
living the dream, because I did like him. All right, are you ready for number one? This one's crazy. This is a movie role for a movie that never actually took place. It's called, the role is called A Took. And it's a role so cursed, they're saying, WatchMojo saying, that it never got made despite multiple attempts. So it translates to, that word "it took" translates to grandfather, and it was about an Inuit man in the big city. And here who was cast in the role: John Belushi, passed away. John Candy, we're talking like cast. John Candy died. Chris Farley, cast, passed away. Sam Kinison passed away. So they never got to make this movie because everyone they cast passed away, died. Wow. So so this is the one. And then also these actors were never casted, but they were potential. Michael O'Donoghue and Phil Hartman were tentative, like, and they passed away. Can you imagine? Don't make this movie.
Yeah.
Throw that script out and don't sign any more actors. Yeah, it's called A Took. It's unproduced.
Is it like a made up story? It's not like based on a true story or anything.
No. It's
that's scary.
A narrative film that unbelievable. I Took. Who knew? All those great actors had signed on to play it.
Yeah. Stay away from that one.
burn that script.
Burn it with fire and do some sort of religious ceremony and make sure that nothing else ever happens.
Get that
holy water on it.
Unbelievable. Hey, Kirsten, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me here on Pop in the Culture.
You're welcome. It's always fun to talk about, especially horror stuff. You know, I love my horrors.
You know I got you. All right, everybody. It is time for our Mojo Chats. That's right, Chats with an S of the week. We're kicking things off. I got the star and the director of the love story, Firebird. Take a look. All right, Tom, how's it going, by the way?
Yeah, all very good. Nice and landed here in LA now.
So you're in Los Angeles. Excellent. Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about this movie. This is really interesting stuff. Give us the tease now for people that want to go check it out. What can they expect out of this particular film?
Well, it's a love story, a forbidden love story set in the Soviet Air Force at the height of the Cold War. And it's a story really about being true to yourself, following your heart, and going after love and risking literally everything, risking freedom, risking your life to be with the person that you love, with a bit of action thrown in on a military base and some unexpected and colorful insights into the world of the Soviet Union.
What's the time frame? What's the period that we're working with here?
1977.
1977. Was that fun as an actor to get in those, getting the 1977 wardrobe and all that?
Yeah, I mean the costumes and stuff, particularly like the civilian costumes, are definitely like a lot more fun than the military ones are. The military ones that I had were pretty rough and very much like, sort of suited to crawling through mud and digging holes. So yeah.
I can imagine. Now, is there a true to life element to this film?
Yeah, so it's based on a true story by the autobiography actually of Sergei Fetisov, which was written in the early 90s and actually released in Russia at the time. He released it still under a pseudonym because of like the human rights issues really still that exist in Russia at the time. I mean, Russia was actually going through a very liberal time actually in the early 90s, but it's based on his true memoirs about his experience in the Air Force Base.
How did you prepare for this? I'm assuming you've read the memoir. Was there anything else as an actor that you did to prep for your part?
I'd say honestly the best prep that I had was writing the script together with Peter, because that really informed so many decisions about how actually I was going to play Sergei, and then also meeting him in real life. and getting to go to Moscow and get to know him there, and really sort of being his physical presence just gave me so much information, really beyond words, about how I wanted to embody him. I mean, it was quite an unusual situation, but actually Peeter, the director and my co-writer, also went to his funeral actually in Russia, and that was kind of quite a surreal moment for me, to be standing in a traditional Russian Orthodox burial, realizing actually the gravity of the responsibility, and that we were going to leave his legacy.
So this is a really personal film, in more ways than one. Like you said at the beginning, we're going to get the romance, you're going to get the time period, but really interesting stuff. So listen, Tom, I won't keep you any longer. I really appreciate you breaking that all down for us, and we do encourage people to check it out.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. The movie is titled Firebird, and it is well, let's find out all about it. I want to call it a love story, the little bit of action. It's definitely a period piece based on factual events, but who better to break it all down than the director in his feature directorial debut in this film. Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Hi, pretty wild. It's amazing to see our film in so many theaters this weekend across the US.
That must be, listen, that must be a good feeling. And you don't need to tell me how much goes into making a movie. It takes a village, but it's a big accomplishment. Why did you want to take on this particular story? Because you co-wrote it with the star as well, right, Tom?
Absolutely. It was just such a beautiful, simple human love story. I read it over a weekend when the original autobiography reached me years ago, and I literally just cried and felt that it has to be turned into a film and told on the big screen, and then started to learn to write really. And when I thought that the masterpiece is finally ready, was introduced by a film producer from here, from LA, to Tom, and felt really immediately that he's amazing and has the qualities, this subtle, nuanced performance to play Sergei. And we shot 2 scenes to really prove to the financiers that I can actually direct. And then Tom started to make some really good, insightful comments, which led to us writing together for more than 2 years.
You guys make a good team, apparently. Talk to me about the period piece that we're talking. We're 1970. What is it? 1970.
1977.
1977. So your first movie, you're doing this love story. It's set during wartime, but now you've got this period piece. was that a daunting task? Because you got to get all the details right. Because film goers will watch and be like, "Hey, wait a minute, is that what happened?" But turns out you did a great job.
It was a huge challenge, especially since it is my first feature, and we didn't have a huge Hollywood budget, still an independent production, so we had to be very, very, I think, careful in planning every scene and really making sure that we use as many real locations. There fortunately were still like a few locations remaining from the Soviet occupation in Estonia, and and just an amazing team of people, very experienced production team who could put it all together, really.
Absolutely. Okay, so at the beginning, I kind of teased that would you call this mainly a love story? Is that how you would?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very, very simple and at the same time powerful human love story.
We here at WatchMojo celebrate all things pop culture, movies, of course, being one of them. Peter, tell me your personal favorite love story. It could be a movie, could be a book. I don't know. What's your fave?
The first 2 that come to mind are In the Mood for Love by Von Kar-wai and Pedro Almodovar's All About My Mother. I think these are 2 of my all-time favorites. But there are so many amazing films. I love the early work of Spielberg. I am absolute fan of Stanley Kubrick. But yeah, I think from love stories, those 2 films.
Amazing. I'm sure a lot of people just put your recommendations on their list of stuff to check out. And we do encourage people to check out this movie. And as we heard from Tom, an incredible personal tale based on that true life account in the memoir. So Peter, I can't thank you enough for joining me today and talking to me all about it. All right. Well, now here's my chat with veteran actress Vicky Kelleher. All right, I'm so excited to be chatting with my guest today, a fantastic actress. We're going to learn all about some exciting things she's going to be popping up in this year. Some things are already out. Hey, Vicky, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited to chat with you because literally moments ago, going through your filmography, you're popping up in a what's what of who's who of shows. But let's talk about what we can expect right now. I want to start with one that's kind of salivating on because I'm such a fan of the behind the scenes of how movies get made, and you're in something called The Offer. Okay, tell us a little bit about it and who you are in this particular show.
Yeah, it's about the making of The Godfather. I know, it's amazing. The story is nuts. I mean, it's as crazy as The Godfather. It's the point of view of Al Ruddy, who produced The Godfather. It was one of the first movies he produced. And crazy stuff happens, and there's actual mob stuff that happens. And I mean, you wouldn't believe it was real. And I play Mario Puzo's wife. Mario is the author of The Godfather, and I play Erica Puzo. And I basically kick him in the butt and make him write the book, as most women have to do for their men.
So we can thank you
definitely
for The Godfather. Well,
yes.
As an actress playing someone that exists or was part of history, what do? Do you go back and watch like old interviews? Do you like look at old photos?
I tried. She was not a person who enjoyed a picture. She didn't like having her picture taken. I found zero footage. So I just had to I did some deep digging. So I just kind of was like, well, she's an Italian woman from New York. So I think I can kind of vibe on that, and just kind of made it up, and hopefully nobody will write me letters. Offended.
And we're gonna show some visuals, but the time period that this takes place, because I love the fashion. What time period are we talking?
It's late 60s, early 70s.
What do you like wearing those clothes?
Oh my gosh, boy, does polyester make you hot. Polyester is right? I'm not a fan. It was fun though, the era and the hair. I mean, I did a couple takes where I just like shook my head and it moved as a unit. The hair never, there's just sprayed, and oh my goodness, all the hairspray.
No one light a match on those sets, those period sets in the 60s, right?
No.
I'm surprised with that show Mad Men. Everyone was smoking, but all the hairspray could have been a disaster. Okay, I'm so excited for The Offer. Thank you for breaking that down. The other one that I know a lot of people are excited about, and you are popping up in something called The Flight Attendant season 2. This was a smash hit. I mean, can you tease? I mean, it's all about like this, the first one anyways, was like this big mystery murder. And
yeah, I can tease enough. I can't tell you too much, but I can tell you that she's, it's a whole new world. She's in California now, and she's sober, and then everything hits the fan. And she's like, I think 5 or 6 different versions of that character this season. Yeah, nice. She joked at the premiere that she was sick of acting with herself.
And we're talking Kaylee
Cuoco, one of the nicest human beings ever to roam the planet.
Really? That was my question, because you see these people on screen and they have this kind of demeanor, and then you want to know, are they actually nice?
They tell you not to meet your icons because you'll be disappointed. Not the case. She was just absolutely joyful and happy, and she made set so much fun. And so did Zaja Mamet, and Dennis. Everybody was just very kind, and it's always fun to be in the beginning of a series when people are still like, yes, we're working,
Exactly. And it's such a huge show. People get these type of shows that you get addicted to, right?
Yeah.
The binge ability. You just want to see the next one. That's kind of its claim to fame. Are you an avid flyer?
Avid. That's an interesting word. I just flew recently to Portland to be in a film, and I somehow managed to pick the most wonderful book, and I got 30 pages in on the flight when it turned out it was about a plane crashing. So I was like, oof, I don't think this is good timing on this. So
yeah, the reason I asked it, because I hate flying.
do you?
And I was wondering if you had any tips. So I guess don't read books about plane
Don't
crashes.
don't read that book, and maybe take the Benadryl and just go night night.
Yeah. Yes, was usually what I usually put on the longest movie that they have available and just kind of see if I can zone out on it. Okay, like I said at the beginning, I have your filmography up, and you pop up in so many great things. I mean, we're talking a little stint on Friends. This Is Us. This is fairly new.
Yeah.
How is that? Because we talk about shows that have cult followings. This Is Us. Everyone's kind of,
I know,
still crying.
It was crazy because it was one of the first days that we were shooting after kind of the pandemic. So people were figuring out what to do. There were all these boxes with plastic. We kind of sat in our own little plastic boxes in between takes. And it was really, different than you're used to kind of hanging out and talking to everybody. And this was like, go to your corner. But I mean, the show is, please, if you want to cry, that's the show to watch. So much crying.
I saw photos exactly of what you're talking about. This Is Us. They're really on the forefront of starting production at that time, and you were there, which is craziness. What was the one you did with Sorkin?
I was on The Newsroom.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, with Sam Waterston. I was Sam's secretary, and that was also wonderful. I mean, Sam is another icon. I get to meet all these people. I got to work with Jane Fonda. She complimented my legs, and I said, I can now die. That's it. I've achieved the pinnacle. Jane Fonda said, you have great legs. So
that's it.
And Aaron Sorkin is great. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can literally put that on your gravestone, your tombstone. Jane Fonda said, nice legs.
Nice legs. The end.
Down here. But yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on, which is really fun. As an actress, you get to dabble in all these different worlds. Do you have a favorite a set that you've been on, that you've taken part in?
That I feel like I've been really blessed. I have loved every set. There have been really no super crazy, diva worlds unfortunately, because I love to gossip, but I got nothing. I will say that, Friends was one of Becker was my very first TV show that I ever did with Ted Danson. And he did a thing where he would, it was in front of a live audience, and he would, we're in the middle of a take, and he just screws up his lines massively, and the audience laughs, and it's a whole thing. And then, I'm nervous, as I was just on a set for the first time and then afterwards, I found out that he did that every single week. He messed up purposely on first, so the audience would be okay if the guest actors messed up. Can you even the generosity? Oh, he was a dream. So I was always like, when I get a series, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal a dancing.
I love me some dancing. Him on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You ever watched that show? I mean, come on, laugh a minute. This has been so much fun, Vicky, but anything, I mean, you got something coming up. I don't know, you probably can't say everything's tight-lipped in the biz. I know how it works.
I can say that it's a movie that with Chris Evans.
Yeah, there you go. I just wanted you to tell us who's also in the film.
And Anna de Armas. Yep. It's a romantic comedy it's a very unusual romantic comedy, and it was really fun, and he's so hard to look at, it's you have to look away. You just don't want to embarrass him by staring.
Grotesque. I don't know how he gets work.
And I kept looking every time Anna de Armas would do her takes, and I would be like, that's what I expect to see when I come back after, and it's different. I look a little different than Anna, just a smidge.
You look fantastic. Listen, this has been, like I said, a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much. We'll be checking it all out. What can I say? Thanks for helping me pop the culture. Well, That's going to do it for another episode, everybody. Big thanks to Tom, Peter, Vicky, and hey, Kirsten. Always so much fun to have her on the show. And thank you for watching. I've been Mr. Hollywood, popping that culture.